What is up, everyone? I'm back, and this video is gonna be the review of the fourth episode of WandaVision that came out this Friday. And wow, this one really, it really started to show more of that big MCU quality again, and as well. Not that the other ones didn't, but like this is really starting to slowly step up even more towards all that. Um. Because this one set up a lot of stuff and also had a lot of callbacks to previous stuff. But as always, you always know there will be half and half. In the first couple of minutes now, I'm gonna just say what I thought in general about the episode, just like a little spoiler-free thing. And then afterwards, I'll be getting into the spoilers and midway of it. So yeah, and then I'll talk about what happened in the episode, so on. But I just want to start saying that this definitely showed a lot of good stuff. This definitely had a lot of great moments, especially with Monica Rambeau, and we have a lot going on, and it shows a lot about her past and what she's been up to and where she has come from and what's her place in the MCU and all that. So I'm not gonna say exactly what it, but they showed some very interesting stuff, and also about her situation and where she works and how she's a part of everything. We saw there's a hint towards where she actually works in the past. If you haven't seen, I'm not gonna say it either, but there's a hint towards where she works, where she's like certain now and center now when she where what organization she's a part of. In some of the previous episodes, and especially has to do with her necklace, but I'm not gonna say anything, but it's also shown in the some of the trailers. But if you really don't, I'm not gonna spoil it. But but we do see a lot of that stuff. We do see in the beginning we see her, and then we directly jump into everything else. And this is pretty much mostly. Uh, I know this is not really a spoiler. We pretty much know this is mostly from the point of view of the. Of all the people outside. I'm not gonna say exactly who it is, but from people outside, this is we see more of the point of view from them, what they have seen from what has happened, and how they try to deal with everything like that. So this is definitely a very interesting episode with a lot of fun details, fun Easter eggs as well. And as always, when I get into spoilers, I'll talk more about. But also leave a link down below to some of the photos relating to those things. But overall, that's pretty much what I think about it. That's it's definitely a very exciting episode, and I think now it's really gonna start going more and more high paced. We're kind of still in the 70s, I believe, still in this one, but I'm sure the next one is gonna go the next decade or somewhat like 80s, and then going to the 90s, and then it all goes towards the final act. I think 80s, 90s, and then I think the 2000s will be a part of it too, possibly, but not entirely sure. But it's really anyways, either way, it's like really starting to really go up now, and I'm super hyped to see where this is gonna go, because there's a lot of really interesting stuff in this one. So yeah, but that's pretty much what I think about that. So yeah, that's the little short review of the episode, spoiler free, are very interesting. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's out now. So yeah. So if you haven't seen it, go check that out, and then you can come back because we now going to the spoilers. But if you haven't yet, then thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one, but otherwise, let's just get into the spoilers. So this one starts out up like it starts off really in a very interesting way, because we see Monica like being kind of it's at around the same time of the ending of Avengers Endgame. We see Monica kind of being, if you want to say it, for lack of better words, like blip back or someone. You see her when she kind of, you know, reforms back, and you can see that effect as well. Almost like just like the one when they disappeared. It's kind of like in a reverse way. It's like when she just appears again, and she is, of course, she's been gone for 5 years, and in those 5 years, a lot of things that happened around her. Last, she was just doing some other stuff, and like in those 5 years, you've seen that her mom, uh, she wakes up in, of course, in like a in somewhere in some, I'm not exactly sure what it was, but it's some random place. I think it is a hospital or something. But she gets no. I think works. Yeah, she works up somewhere in some different location. Then she goes to a hospital to see if where her mother is, because we learned that her mother had gotten cancer. She had gotten sick in cancer, and just before that all happened, just before the Thanos snapped, though, right? And she got snapped away. Um, just she was the one who got snapped away. Her mom, Monica, no, Maria Rambo didn't. You know, Maria Rambo from the first Captain Marvel movie, Friends with Carol, and um, all that for Friends with Captain Marvel, pretty much. And she she got cancer, and we see that her condition got worse, and she sadly passed away a couple of years back. And Monica is really confused. She's really lost. She even runs into somebody that just materializes in front of her as well, and she can't believe that had happened, because last she knew her mother was at least alive. She was in the hospital, yes, and she was feeling bad, but she was alive, and because it just went like this, of course, as we all know, with the snap and with the blip. So this takes place around that same time by the ending of Endgame. And we can really see that everybody's feeling more closely in this one, how everybody kind of reacted to everybody appearing again. And we see a nurse as well being shocked to see Monica, because she thought she's been gone, she's been gone for so long. And she's surprised to see her again. And they say that and she tells Monica that her mother is gone. She has passed away. And she gets really confused and really like kind of upset over this, of course. Um, uh, let's see. It just shows the effects of after the. It pretty much shows the effect after the blip. That's what I'm trying to say. But then we kind of go on after that. We see a little bit what's going on. This is gonna take place outside a little bit more of the last three episodes. We like Paul. It takes place in equal times at the same time as the last three episodes take place, leading up to the point where Monica gets sent out by Wanda. We'll get to that in a second, because that's also special in something with that. But this all gonna take place from the outside, and the point of Sword and some other like police and all that stuff outside of that real Westview that's been closed in. We see Monica walks into the Sword headquarters, and this also takes place around the same time of Endgame, to more later on towards the end. And we can kind of see that because there's like big monitors up by the walls that are showing like some kind of newscast, like some kind of news, broadcasting of news that's showing some people getting like, there's some headlines of people being coming back, appearing back again, and so on. And we see that, and also we meets up with one of the other more interesting characters in this, the acting director of Sword for the time being, because Monica's mother passed away, and he has been since then acting director, because there was nobody else who could really step in. She was not there to choose or to step in because she was, snapped away. So, and his name is Tyler Hayward. Tyler Hayward, and you can kind of maybe people maybe cannot remember him, but there is a small connection to Hydra there and Agents of Shield, another character from Agents of Shield. So this can also be a small indication that Hydra also has something to do with all this, or is involved somehow. But we also will get to that later because he starts acting a little bit weird throughout the whole episode. He starts behaving weirdly and does some kind of strange things. He's not. You can see that he's not really fully like looking like a straight good guy like that. He doesn't look evil, but he looks a little bit like off in some type of way. And that's first time you can see that is because when you see him use Monica, they pass like a plaque of Monica of Maria Rambo, and he uses her, uses Monica's mother as a way to persuade her. It's like he feels kind of awkward giving her orders because even though he is higher ranked than her, still means that she's still very much connected to Monica or to Maria, and because she was one of the founders of Sword. She didn't get blipped. She was around the same time. She was there founding Sword after everything had happened, just to really pick up and start working on everything. She was the main one of the main creators of the organization, um, which could still be some type of like extra expansion of Shield in some type of way, but it's not really entirely sure. But she was there in creating it, and he gives Monica this assignment. To the first assignment he gives her is this situation with Wanda, and that's very very interesting because like out of all places he gives her that, and that cannot be just a coincidence. There's something there that he has that power, and can't just be a coincidence that he sends her there. He has to have something. He wants to know something about it. It is in some type of way that you get that feeling that he wants to get. But we'll get to that in a bit. But he sends her there, and um, then we see. After that, we see a scene where finally we get to introduce again to Darcy Lewis again. She's back in the MCU again, and she arrives in this kind of truck with other people as well, and and this is some type of big like there's like a big with different type of professors and stuff like that, and there's a little funny moment in there as well, and I think that's really funny. But they arrive there and they start setting up a lot of stuff. You but just before we get to that soon, but just before that we see um but before that happens, in the scene before that actually, we see Monica arrive to Westview. We see her arrive to Westview, and we see her meet up with Jimmy Woo, or I think that's his name, Jimmy Woo or Jimmy Cho, one of those names. I know his name is Jimmy, but I'm not exactly sure with the last name. But anyways, never good with names. But he meets up with Monica and introduce each other to each other. Like yeah, introduce each other and they meet up and they start talking about everything that's been going on, and she kind of sends in this drone or looking like a helicopter, and that's the same drone helicopter that Wanda finds in the bushes in I think was it the I think it was the first episode. I'm pretty sure it was the first episode. I believe. Not entirely sure though. Could be the second, but one of the first or second episode. And that's the same one. And it disappears inside. Then we hear Jimmy Woo. He talks about every people that disappeared. Like Westview is actually a real town, but somebody has kind of the memory of it disappear, or like taking away the memory from people around that everybody else, like it's disappeared from the memory of all people around, and they cannot remember anything. The same also with the inhabitants of the town. Like he says, there's around maybe 4,000 people in there, and everybody has forgotten about them. Somebody has made people forget about them and that town. And then there's of course directly speculation that is this Wanda's doing. Well, they don't speculate really, but you can all but think you can always directly think that is that Wanda doing that, or is that somebody else who has fully made everybody forget as well? Because there is some connection there, but I'll get to that in a minute. But um when we see, like he mentioned, they talked to a couple of cops and they say that ask them if they remember anything about the town, that they don't remember it being any Westview except there's an Eastview, and one of the cops is from Eastview, but there he doesn't remember any Westview existing. So that's very interesting. And also Jimmy Woo mentions there's one person that's missing that's from a witness protection program, and that can be a connection to one of the main characters in that reality, which I'll get to. But that's also a little bit a very interesting hint right there. But anyways, after that we see, as we see in the trailer, Monica tries to touch the force field, or the real whatever you want to call it, and she gets sucked in. And after that, then we get to the point I said earlier, with Darcy arriving, and she at once tries to set in and tries to find out what is going on. She gets some type of frequency in there. Um, because she gets some type of frequency in there surrounding everything. Um, let's see. And she asks for like an older TV, to get an older TV, so you can see it more clearly. And she gets to see more clearly then, because like they reveal, like, yeah, it is like a sitcom. They all get like puzzled about, so what is happening, why is it a sitcom, why does it happen. They go get surprised seeing Wanda there as well, and Vision, of course. They ask like, he's in like Wanda or some, oh, I mean, Darcy or somebody else asks, like, isn't he dead? And uh they all try to sit around and try to figure out what is going on. And and they have this kind of wall set up and everything, and like a board where they write everything up in a ball with everybody's identity and everything, which I'll get to. But um then we see that we see first I want to just say that we see them trying to go in and connect, the moment where Jimmy tries to connect via the radio to Wanda. First Darcy thinks that's just like normal interference, like it's because of the some of the force or something. But then we see when he fully tries it again, and he goes in and tries to kind of, she hears it, you remember that she hears it, and she like change it instantly. In that tense moment, we kind of fully see, they fully reveal that Wanda is actually the one. We truly see now that Wanda is the one who is controlling this. Um, well, she is controlling all of this. Really, she's the one who can just change it. If she doesn't see anything that fits in this reality, or something that she doesn't want to be there, she can just take that away just like that. And that really goes to show her actual big power in a way, and how she kind of structures everything, and how she really wants to keep everything locked in. And you can see more and more that she's actually possibly aware that that things aren't really fully real, but she's just trying to close everything out, reality out, so so she doesn't have to deal with the pain of losing vision and all that stuff. So, and her brother and all everything that she's been through, and she just want to live in this happy world, kind of. Which could also be some type of influence also from other people like Mephisto or something, because throughout this whole thing we do with when they're analyzing everything, we keep seeing the hexagon always. We keep seeing that thing, and that, as the previous theories have said, that goes back to the number 6, the devil's number, or in this case could be Mephisto. So that's could be another hint towards final, like they keep hinting towards that, which indicates more and more that Mephisto is really possibly part of this, and he's one of the villains. But then I want to talk about what we see on the whiteboard and all the wall. First off, the wall, we see all those in the also like licenses and all that, and all those people. We can maybe think that those are people that do actually live there, or they were somewhat working in some type of way, but they're fine. They're pretty much mostly some of the main mystic people. Like we have Herb, we have like somebody else right there, all like Miss Hart and all those other people that we've seen in the previous episodes. Except we don't see Dottie. I don't think we see Dottie right there in that, but that can also mean that, there's something else special with her, which we'll get to later another time in the coming episodes. Maybe there will be revealing more. I won't go into that more right now, but there could be something with her as well. But we also see, of course, as we saw in the trailer as well, we see the only one who doesn't have a license is Agnes. And that, once again, that showed us a lot that indicates that she could be Agatha Harkness, and that she's in there trying to do something, either working with Mephisto, or either like doing something inside of there, trying to affect the Wanda, trying to sway Wanda in some type of way. We also saw that some hints of that in the last episode, when she trying to like keep Herb from talking, trying to keep him from saying that they were trapped in there, because he was trying to come to and trying to realize everything more and more. So we see that, and it's either that, or she could be, as I said, there's the one person that is in the witness protection program, and she could possibly be that person. Either she is like from the old times, like a witch kind of stuff going on, or she's that person. But the reason she's in there is not yet fully known. We'll have to wait and see. But she also could be that person in some type of way, be connected like that. But we also see small Easter eggs, small hints towards what some of the questions that many of us has also been asked, and we see that the people there also as in the show. We see on the board it says related to Westview mile radius, and then it also said why hexagonal, why sitcoms, same time and space, and also is Vision alive? So we see that they're also asking those questions, and that's probably indication that all those questions will be answered in the coming episodes in full, because that's most of the questions that we have been having as well. And the creators are acknowledging that, and they're showing that possibly there will be answers to this in some type of way. And there's also at the bottom it says failed attempts, and that could also be like failed attempt at reaching in and all that stuff. But so I like that. I like how they showed that awareness, that they're hinting towards it. Yes, these questions will be answered. These questions will be shown, like the answers to, and it will be revealed what really is happening, what really is going on. But then after that, we see after they have seen and checked out like some of the like the timeline of the last 3 episodes. They finally find Monica and they see that she kind of acts a little bit strange, but they are wondering if is she under control somehow, or is she just putting up an act somehow? Is somebody messing with her or something? But then we see towards the end we catch up to towards where the last episode left off, with like towards the end of the last episode, where Monica interacts with Wanda or Geraldine, as he's called in the in there. And this is very interesting because we have somewhat smallly always, like in small ways, always seen hints towards that she possibly is not under control, that she kind of is aware of where she is and what she's going on, but she kind of putting up this facade or act just to infiltrate this place and try to go undercover to find out and reach, like, break through with Wanda and try to reach out her and see what's going on and maybe help her or some stuff like that. This also can be seen as truth because in the last episode we see that when Agnes says Monica has no home here, she has no, like, um she has no husband or nothing, so there's nothing that she wasn't a part of that town, right? And she's not part of something that Wanda has seen or created in, like, at least not like fully intentionally like that. So we then see that we already see then that Monica could actually be just doing, knowing everything that's going on, and she's just putting up this act of it all. And that really comes to show when that happens, when she mentions Ultron and Pietro being killed by Ultron. And of course, Wanda gets mad and they have this interaction. And she sends Monica right out. She just pushes her out. Like, it was a really cool scene. That she just flew out through like every like building and fences and all that, and just right straight out of the like the sphere, if you want to call it, the barrier for the reality. um, I like how they did that. It's almost like when it's kind of the same powers when Wanda pushed down Vision through the ground of the Avengers headquarters in Civil War. It's almost like that type of way she pushed her out. But not exactly. That's more when she like. And then she used more like his density, trying to make him heavier and go. But in some type of same way, she pushes her. She used her powers to really bring someone away, you know. And then comes, and after that we kind of see that maybe Wanda has these strong powers. We just saw that, but also maybe she's not entirely fully in control of this whole thing. She's not as in control as she maybe would want, or maybe she thinks, or as we think. Because in the last episode, we saw that normally Vision walks in, she asks where's Monica and all that, and she left, and all is normal. But this time, we see when she turns around and she looks at Vision, we see him as like his face turns like changes, and we see him as he was when we were like dead, pretty much, like his dead face, like when he was when Thanos took out the Mind Stone from his head, and how he was when like either Shield or Sword found him and brought him in. So she sees that, she gets scared, and but then it like turns back to normal again. So that's maybe a small hint towards that something isn't really fully right. That there's something that she's not maybe entirely in control, and there's something in there going on because she's dealing with this, or maybe it's because she's so stressed out. Because this is not that long after she comes back from Hulk's snap, you know, when she blips back. The last thing she remembers before that, before fighting in Endgame, was losing Vision. And then she comes back, she fights in Endgame, the final battle, she fights Thanos and all that. and she's at the Tony Stark's funeral. But then shortly after that, we probably think, as it seems that she went off and did this, like she was trying to cope with everything, that she has lost vision, and this is what she did, trying to cope with it. So that's all those kind of connections we have from to the past and to now, with everything going in and out. Like it connects back to Infinity War. It connects back to previous events, like a little bit with Captain Marvel as well. And maybe I forgot to mention, there's a little there's a little like writing on one of the boards as well. It says, could it be scrolls? Question mark. Could it be scroll? Like that's also maybe like a hint towards that there's more parts in this than we think, and that scrolls could also be trying to take part in something in some type of way, because we've seen how much uh, they've kind of tried to be connected to. We know that a lot of things in the future are gonna connect with with each movie and each show gonna connect with each other. So we can kind of see that maybe throughout the whole thing, you will see more and more connection to the scrolls, as well as in other shows and movies also. Not just this, but also maybe in and Falcon and Winter Soldier or anything else. Because everything is gonna tie into Captain Marvel too, and then to Secret Wars, the TV show Secret Wars. So we know that Sword is involved with scrolls and everything like that. So they already know that scrolls, that there's some bad scrolls, and they already thinking that maybe this could, they could do something like that. That's a little other hint towards what's to come maybe as well. So I'm loving this. How they're setting this up. They're showing the president what is going on, but they're also uh, connecting back to the past and also setting up for the future at the same, all at the same time. And I love how they set all this up, really, because it's a very interesting episode. We see it from the outside, like another point of view, but it still connects in such good ways with very interesting characters. And just to cut back to the guy Tyler Hayward, he asked Darcy Lewis about a lot of different stuff about what information, and when she gives it to him, he just kind of just walks away and goes off. And that's also one of those a little bit weird moments, because he's trying to, it looks like he's trying to hide something, and he's trying to um, go off on his own someone and try to do some type of stuff, but nothing is 100% sure yet. But he looks a bit off, and I've heard other people say that as well. So it will definitely be interesting to see if Hydra is involved, if the Skrulls are involved, or which is really the full actual villain in this, because there's a lot of hints right now, but mostly points towards Mephisto being the full main villain. Then Agatha maybe have something to do with it. Nothing more yet on Grim Reaper so far, but they could be coming something more soon. Next episode is gonna be the one, the Halloween themed one, when they dress up as all their comic book accurate kind of looks, Wanda and Vision. So, and we know that from some of the clips that have been shown, that some big things are gonna happen in that episode as well. Some big things possibly will be revealed or shown. So, um, there will be even more coming up. So I'm super hyped for that. I can't wait. So yeah. But that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for this review. I'm sorry it went kind of long, half an hour, but there was a lot to unpack in this one, and hopefully this one was a little bit more structured and collected than the last one. I'm sorry for the last one. I was feeling a bit down, a little bit stressed last week, but this time I feel a bit better, and I'm feeling I could structure it a bit more in a better way and get the information out. So yeah. Hopefully the next one won't be as long. Maybe depending on how much information we get. this episode was half an hour long, so but they really packed a lot of stuff into it. So yeah, if I missed something, I'm sorry for that. Um, leave it in the comments below if you think I missed something and so on. And thank you guys for watching. Leave a like down below if you enjoyed, and also subscribe if you haven't already, and press the notification bell. And also don't forget to check out my reaction to the episode. I uploaded that yesterday. I'll possibly leave a link or annotation, we'll see. But it's on the channel. You can go into my channel and you can see it there. It's the video before this one probably. So go and check that reaction out. There's no video down there. I'm not trying. It's hard for me to try to deal with all the copyright stuff and the time thing. But it's I tell you what I'm seeing, so you can kind of see, watch along, and if you want to see my reaction to some of the stuff. Not the most exciting thing, but if you want to, I would really appreciate that. So yeah, other than that, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.